Hello everyone, welcome to IP Study video lectures. Today we will discuss grade 8 science chapter Keeping Times with Skies. In this chapter we will cover the topics Moon, our natural satellite, development of calendars, astronomical basis of festivals, artificial satellites. So, have you ever wondered how people measured days and time when there were no calendars or watches? So, long before, people were studying the natural cycles like the sunrise, sunset, means the cycle of sun, the cycle of moon in the sky. For thousands of years, they observed the regular cycles of the sun and moon and the stars to keep the track of time. In the previous grade also, we have studied that the heavenly objects that we see in the night sky and in the day time, they are changing the positions in the sky. Rising and setting of the sun showed the passing of day and night, and the changing shape of moon marked the month and the yearly journey of the earth around the sun that creates the seasons. These natural patterns become the first clock and calendars and enable people to determine when to plant crops, when to harvest crops, when to celebrate festivals, prepare for various seasons. These studies help them to plan their activities, plan their celebrations and mark their festivals. These people developed devices based on the sun to track time, which is now known as the sundial, which studied the position of the shadow of a triangular object or a rod in the center of the sundial. Even today, our calendars and timekeeping systems are based on these celestial rhythms. In this chapter, we will learn about how festivals falls, how do we study different phenomena during the year, and how it is studied based on the cycle of the sun and the moon. So, first of all, discuss the moon, which is our natural satellite. Why we are calling it a satellite? Because it is revolving around the earth. As it is a natural heavenly body, we are calling it a natural satellite. So, it is a natural satellite of the earth and it is brightest object in the night sky. Unlike the sun, the moon does not make its own light. It is non-luminous object. It reflects the light of the sun. The moon moves around the sun in its fixed path, which is called its orbit, and the phenomena is called the revolution of the moon, means the movement of moon around the earth. It takes about 29.5 days for the moon to complete one movement around the earth in its orbit. The same side of the moon always faces the earth. And this is because the moon rotates on its axis. Also, it moves around the earth in its orbit, and both these movements happen at the same rate. So, this causes us to see the same side of the moon, and this phenomena is called synchronous rotation. Means every time when it is rotating on its axis and moving around the earth, it is keeping its same side towards the earth. The dark side of the moon is not always dark, it is just the side we never see from the earth. Phases of the moon. As the moon moves around the earth in its orbit, it reflects different amount of the sunlight from different parts of the moon. So, what we are observing? We are observing different shapes of the moon due to the part which is reflecting the light, and it forms different phases of the moon. When you look up the moon, you might have noticed the moon looks different on different night. It is not same at every night. So, how can you observe it? You can keep a track of different shapes that you observe in the night sky of the moon. So, on the day 1, notice the shape of the moon. You can draw it or take the picture. What do you notice? Like the brightness, the shape and the color of the moon. So, you will find out that every day it is changing. These changing shapes of the moon are called here the phases of moon. The moon goes through 8 main phases in about 29.5 days, means during one complete cycle around the earth, which is called the lunar cycle. The cycle begins with the new moon, which is also known as Amavasya. When the moon is between the earth and the sun, it becomes invisible to us. Soon after, a thin slice of light appears called the waxing crescent. About a week later, we have the half moon, means half of the moon is reflecting light towards earth and it is visible to us. As the illuminated portion continues to grow, we get the waxing gibbous, and which leads to the full moon, complete circular moon on the day of Purnima. After the full moon, the illuminating part is now reducing and it is decreasing. The cycle continues to waning gibbous, and then we have the last quarter when the opposite half of the moon is lit, and then finally we have waning crescent and phases before it disappears again into the new moon. So, it started from the new moon, then goes into increasing phases of the moon, then reaches to the full moon, and then started decreasing so that it can reach to the next new moon. That's how one complete cycle of the phases of moon occurs. In simple terms, the period of increasing brightness is called the waxing and the period of decreasing brightness is called the waning. You can try this with a simple activity where you need a dark room, a lit lamp, and you need to draw one orbit here. How? You can take one ball in a hand and extend your hand towards the lamp. Okay, and now hold the ball in the same position and start moving on at your position. Means assume that you are standing at one axis and you are moving around here only. So, during this movement, you are standing at your position and then you start moving around and your hand is moving along you, carrying the ball in your hand. So, what happens when you start it with the new moon phase? Means you are keeping the ball between you and the lamp. The ball is blocking the sunlight towards you because you are representing the earth here. So, what happens then? You are not seeing any part of the ball which is reflecting lights to you. Then you start moving on your axis. The ball is now changing its position around you and some part of the ball is reflecting the light to you, and further when it is continuing to move around you, different portion of the ball is receiving the light and it is visible to you. That's how you can observe different phases of the reflecting part of the ball. So, here it is representing the phases of the moon which is reflecting light towards the earth. Next is Does the shadow of Earth cast the formation of some phases of Moon? Is there any role of the Earth? It is a misconception. It has been a common misconception that the phases of Moon are due to the Earth's shadow. In reality, Earth's shadow is not playing any role here. So, the phenomena is called the lunar eclipse when the shadow of the Earth is casted on the Moon. It is not related to the phases of Moon. Positions of the Moon. Have you ever noticed that the Moon never rises from the same point and it is not rising at the same time? So, this is because as its orbit is around the Earth and it is taking 29.5 days to complete one orbit, its position shifts a little eastward each night and causing it to rise roughly 15 minutes later than the previous day because it is changing its position. At the new moon, it rises and sets with the sun, making it invisible. And after that, it is forming waxing crescent phase because it is also moving forward in the orbit. And that time it appears in the western sky just after the sunset. By the first quarter, it rises around the noon and sets at the midnight. That's why you might see the moon early in the evening. And during the waxing gibbous, it is visible from afternoon till the early morning, and at the full moon, it rises at the sunset and sets at the sunrise. Means it is visible throughout the night. As it begins to wane, the gibbous moon rises later in the evening and sets late in the morning, while the last quarter rises at midnight and sets at noon. In the waning crescent, it appears before sunrise in the eastern sky before the sunrise and as a thin slice until it disappears again at the new moon, so that a new lunar cycle is starting. So, that's how we can see that the position of the moon is not same in the night sky and its rising and its setting is also different on every day. So, there is an interesting thing that we need to understand here. In Indian traditions, the lunar cycle plays a very important role in traditional calendars, religious practices and festivals. We observe the position of the moon in the night sky to observe our calendars and to celebrate our festivals. The month is divided into 2 fortnights, means the period of almost 15 days. Means it starts from new moon to full moon, and second fortnight is from full moon to new moon. What are these? Shukla Paksha, which is also known as the bright fortnight. This period begins on the new moon or Amavasya and it is continued to Purnima or full moon day. This waxing phase is considered very auspicious and many festivals lie in this period like Guru Purnima and Raksha Bandhan. Second fortnight is Krishna Paksha or dark fortnight, where the moon is now reducing and it starts from Purnima, means full moon, and ends at Amavasya, means the next new moon. The waning phase is used to follow many rituals and fasts such as Karwa Chauth and Mahalaya Amavasya during this period. So, that's how we can say that the phases of moon play an important role in our life. Development of calendars. So, we discussed it earlier that people studied natural cycles like the cycle of sun, the cycle of stars and the moon to determine their calendars. And these practices have been revised, means based on different studies, different calendars are formed. Long before watches and calendars were invented, people looked at the sky to measure the time. They noticed the natural events which are repeating there, like the rising and setting of the sun, which gave them idea to study the time, to observe the time, and phases of the moon, which completes in 29.5 days. The changing seasons in a year were linked to the revolution of Earth around the sun, means the movement of Earth around the sun. Based on these natural repetitive events, different ancient civilizations created their calendars. For example, the Egyptian made one of the earliest solar calendar, means they observed the positions of the sun in the sky to make their calendar. And also they observed the rising flood of the Nile river and the rising of the star Sirius. The Babylonians used a lunar calendar, means they studied the position of the moon or the phases of the moon. In India, the Hindu calendar, which is also known as the Panchang, combined both sun and the moon, means these includes the position of the sun and the moon, means their natural cycles. Romans later developed the Julian calendar, which was corrected by the Gregorian calendar that we are using today. So, what we are observing here to create a calendar? We are studying sun, moon and stars to study the days, months and years and different festivals and different natural phenomena. Next is lunar calendar. As it is mentioned in the name, lunar calendar is based on the phases of the moon, means the position and shapes of the moon in the sky. So, we can observe the movement of moon in the sky to create the lunar calendar or study the lunar calendar, where new moon to full moon and back again, it takes 29.5 days to complete one cycle, and 12 such lunar months makes a year about having 354 days in it. But what we know about a year? We know that a year is 365 days. But according to lunar calendar, the year is completing by observing the phases of the moon, where we are observing the new moon and full moon to count the one complete lunar cycle. And during a year, we are having 12 such cycles to make 12 months. And this is completed in 354 days, which is lesser than the year that we study nowadays. So, because the lunar year is shorter than our year that we study nowadays, festivals fall on different dates of the Gregorian calendar every year. That is why we do not have some festival on the same date, because we are following the lunar calendar to mark those festivals. Solar calendar is based on the apparent movement of the sun. It measures the time taken by the earth to complete one orbit, one movement around the sun, which is about 365 days and 6 hours. To adjust this extra hours, we add one day every 4 years, known as the leap year. So, in every leap year, we have one extra day in the month of February. The Gregorian calendar used all over the world's day, and it is also known as the solar calendar. So, the days which we are marking in our calendars nowadays, it is based on the Gregorian calendar, which is following the patterns of the sun, or we are studying the movement of earth around the sun here. Lunisolar calendar is the combination of sun and moon cycles. So, what is this? A lunisolar calendar is a mixture of both moon cycle and the sun cycle. This month The months are based on the moon's phases, about 29.5 days, while the year is adjusted to mark the days that we are following in the solar calendar, which is about 365 days. Since 12 lunar months adds up to the only 354 days to complete a lunar calendar based on the lunar cycle, an extra month called the Adhika Mas or leap month is added every few years to keep festivals in the right season, so that these festivals are not going into different seasons. The Indian National Calendar. The Indian National Calendar, also known as the Saka calendar, was officially adopted in 1957 on the recommendation of committee chairman who was Meghnad Saha. It was introduced to bring a uniform and scientific system of timekeeping, so that we use the same practice of studying the time. The year begins with the month of Chaitra, which start on 22nd March and or the 21st March in the leap year. Like the Gregorian calendar, it has 12 months and 365 days. Its leap year system is designed to coincide directly with the Gregorian calendar, so that we can overlap the missing days here, which were missing in which are shorter in the lunar year. Today, the Saka calendar is used in government institution in India and All India Radio and Doordarshan, while the Gregorian calendar continues to be used internationally in daily life. So, what we are following here in the Gazette of India, we are following the Indian National Calendar or Saka calendar. Next is astronomical basis of festivals. As we studied that lunar cycles and solar cycles are studied to mark the festival in the year, which is also related to full moon and new moon. So, some festivals follow the lunar calendars. For example, Diwali, the festival light, is celebrated on new moon in the month of Kartik, and Holi is celebrated, which is also known as the festival of colors, on the full moon and in the month of Falgun. Similarly, Buddha Purnima is marked as the birth of Lord Buddha, and it is celebrated on the full moon in the month of Vesak, and Guru Purnima is dedicated to the teachers, falls on the full moon of Ashad month. So, these name of the month are according to the Hindu calendar. Karwa Chauth, a fast observed by married women, takes place on the 4th day from the full moon in the Kartik Mas. Eid al-Fitr is also tied to the lunar cycle, where we observe the moon, phase of the moon, and begins with the sighting of the new moon after the month of the Ramadan. Raksha Bandhan is celebrated on the full moon of Shravan Mas. So, that's how different festivals are celebrated on different events based on the lunar cycle and the solar cycle. Based on the solar cycle, we are celebrating Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Vaisakhi, Onam. In different parts of the country, we are celebrating different harvesting festivals here, and we are celebrating the solar year, solar cycle. So, that's how here we can understand that the position of the sun and the position of the moon and phases of the moon are related to our festivals. Artificial satellites. What are artificial satellites? The heavenly objects which are human made, and these are revolving around the planets or around the sun, means other heavenly objects. While the moon is natural satellite of the earth, thousands of human made satellites now orbit around different planets and our planet also. And what is the importance of these different satellites? These are helping us to study the weather, study the different positions of the heavenly object, their cycles in the space and their structures. So we have so many informations nowadays about the space. So how we are having these informations? We are observing the changes in the universe, in the space or around the earth, around different planets or in our solar system, which are observed by these satellites. Since the launch of Sputnik 1 by the Soviet Union in 1957, thousands of satellites have been deployed in the space, which are observing the behavior of the different heavenly objects in the space. These are observing the changes in the atmosphere of different heavenly objects, and these are helping here to communicate, navigate, observe our planet and understand the universe. India's space journey took a big step forward with the launch of first satellite called the Aryabhatta on 19th April 1975. The satellite was built by the Indian Space Research Organization, also known as ISRO. Aryabhatta was mainly designed to carry our experiments in X-ray astronomy, solar physics and aeronomy, which is called the study of upper atmosphere. There are many other satellites which have been deployed in the space, like the Bhaskara 1 and INSET 1A, IRS 1A and GSAT 1 satellites in different years. These satellites are affecting our day-to-day life. These are helping us to study more about the heavenly objects. Satellites play a crucial role in modern life by supporting the communication, navigation, GPS system that you are using nowadays. It is controlled by the satellites, navigating satellites. Weather forecasting, Earth observation, scientific researches and even defense. So communication satellites enable us to contact globally using the television, internet and phone services. Navigation satellites provide us accurate position using the GPS system. Weather forecast satellites provide vital data for the different natural events which can happen in the future or nearby times, like the storms, farming, city planning and disaster management. Scientific satellites expand our knowledge of space and Earth. They help us to study different heavenly objects and different heavenly phenomena. Military satellites ensure that security through surveillance and secure communication. Satellites are launched into orbits by rockets. How these are sent to the space? These are carried by rockets. Once deployed, they use solar panels for the energy, thrusters and computers to carry out different tasks or different missions. Means if these are supposed to orbit around the Earth or any other planet, they need energy. That energy will be generated using the solar panels there. And these are using computers to take the pictures, to observe the data and analyze the data and send us the results. So that's how we studied how different cycles, natural cycles like the lunar cycle and solar cycles are important in our life. These are helping us to study the changes in the nature, and these are helping us to mark the calendars, mark the events in the calendar and planning our activities like farming activities. Also, we understood here that different years or different cycles have different days. For example, the lunar cycle has different number of days in 1 year and the solar cycle has different number of days in its complete year, which are managed or which are adjusted by adding extra month in the leap year or extra days here, so that we can get the uniform system of calculating the time, and we can have the uniform calendar. We also understood here that different satellites are used here. Artificial satellites are made by humans and deployed in the space so that we can study the different heavenly objects and different heavenly phenomena. And these are also playing important role in our daily life, like in communication, in navigation, and ensuring the safety. That's it for the day. See you with the next topic. Thank you.